With this one, we will move to the next questions. It's coming from Kanmin as well. So to deal with our clients who are many years in specific industry already, what is the top key challenges of a junior BD to consult our clients? Even they prepare the script because the conversion is flexible due to circumstance. How a newbie could deal with it in a cold call?
Okay.
It's a leadership question, please.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Hanmin, I think the first and foremost, most important thing is that you have to gain confidence. And how do you gain confidence? First and foremost is that you have to know your product. So, what you are going to pitch any product or service to any of your clients, prospects, if you are not clear about your product, so then you will not be confident. So first and foremost, as a starting point, if you are a newbie, then I would suggest you that you have to be a master of your product. So you have to product and service whatever you are trying to sell. Okay. So once you are through with your product knowledge, so that you have to test. You have to talk to seniors and your team leaders or maybe anybody who is selling the similar product in your organization from a long time. Then you need to talk to them and tell them about the product and ask them to judge you on your product knowledge. So once you feel that okay, you are just good, and then you will feel confident about your product. So that's the starting point. Second, obviously the conversations will always change. Because when you are talking on a cold call, you can prepare your script, but there is always a scope of changing the course of conversation by the prospect. So, but as a smart sales B2B sales professional, you know, you should not allow that conversation to drift away. So there are various situational tricks which you will learn in due course of time. So first and foremost, if you are referring to a cold call through a telephone, then I would always suggest you to listen to the recordings of your phone calls and also share those recordings with your seniors who will suggest you that okay, where something went wrong or you were too good in that call. They will come back with the feedbacks. In case of actual face-to-face meetings, I would suggest you to accompany your seniors onto a few sales calls with them, because they have more experience than you, and they will because I understand that you are trying to point to a objection handling scenario, because you are new and the prospect is trying to lead you into a different conversation what you are trying to convey, and then he or she is trying to lead to a different path. So that is called objection handling. So that you will improve upon as you get into more calls, as you see observe calls with your seniors. So it's a there is no magic mantra for this, that okay, I can give you a magic wand which you carry and you will be able to steer the call as per your wishes. So there is nothing, it is all situational, but you learn to handle those situations by practicing yourself, learning from your seniors, accompanying them onto various calls. All these things you can and attending various training sessions also is a way of learning things. Because for example, today I tried to give you 4, 5, 6 tips. So maybe some if you attend more and more such programs with me or with somebody or with John or with other trainers also, then you will, today you have learned 5 tricks. After attending 10 trainings, you will have those 50 tricks in your arsenal. So it's a time taking process. As you grow in your experience, months, weeks it will take, but you can hone your skills and you will not face these problems, I think. Thank you. John, you would like to add something here?
Uh, I think it was a pretty comprehensive response already from you, Rajneesh. So this will be my suggestion for Kanmin. So I'm going to show you a little more tactical approach. What Rajni said. Rajni basically said what you should do. I'm going to give you a little more or drill down tactical actions from each of the things. First, it's about the training. So you got to train your teams regularly about the product. It's not about training means you should be lecturing your product. You probably have a product catalogs. You're going to give it to your team members and tell them to read it very clearly. And then every week when you have a team meetings, you ask each of them about specific questions as like a client. And you should be doing it. And if you have every week 2 meetings, first 15 minutes of the meetings, you will you book that out for that session. You're going to ask even different specific question, but don't start immediately. You announce that, hey guys, moving forward, every week meetings, first 15 minutes, we're going to ask about questions. I will be asking you a question about the product, and you announce that one, and then moving forward, every week you're going to ask them specific question to everyone. And the best way of doing this one is about when you ask one person a particular questions as like a client about the product, and they will answer to you, right? And then you ask the other people to say that how good was the answer, and then you can share back your feedback, what was the good thing and what could be better into that answer. And this is the way you'll be able to build your team, understand about the product. Because B2B sales, the only reason you are not confident about the phone call because you don't read about the product. And reading the product is one of the boring thing for most of the salesperson, and they don't like to do it. And that's one of the reasons they actually fail the whole thing as well too. They don't become successful in the role. So if you do this training and reinforce on your team every week in that 15 minutes, and if there even specific questions come up over there, maybe some of them you even don't know, which is good, because then you already figure out all those questions come out, and then you can bring up to your senior and have a discussions and get more inputs about this one, and get back to your team. And it's like called role play. It's you can simply ask about, hey, why should I buy your product, like an example, or what are the key features of the RPO, or you can ask about how long what is the pricing criteria, or you can define some sort of questions, and you can play around, you can shuffle around and ask every day, every time you do the meeting, because people may know this week, but next week they may forget it, right? So you need to keep them warm up. So first you feed them information, and then you keep asking them every week. Number 2 is a phone call. It's a very challenging one. If somebody, because the first thing you have to understand in the phone call, it's all about being confident about yourself. Because the person who's sitting other side in the phone call, they cannot kill you, they cannot murder you. The worst thing, only thing will happen to you, you may lose the deal. So my suggestion will be to start a great phone call, get few lines scripted. Like an example, how to start a great phone call, like few lines, few words. If you could put it on in the phone call script in the very first thing, that will set a good fresh vibe into it. And as long as you are well educated about the product, you can able to answer most of the question because you already practiced it with your team. And then now when it comes to pricing, customer will always jump up and talk to the pricing. So you can strategize one thing. You may say that no, we don't talk about the pricing. We want to talk about your requirements. We want to understand your problem. And without understanding the problem, how can we give you a pricing? So if the client is trying to bogus you and saying that no, we just want a price, I say no. You can, being that same friendly strength, you can say this one: we're trying to solve your problem, so let me understand your problem. And then what you could do here is the one, based on the product criteria, you can set up like a 5 or 7 questions which will identify the product information. Like an example, if you're having a call about RPO, you should set up like 7 questions they should ask. And when you start asking this question to the clients, and if the client is looking for a similar kind of product like an RPO, they will start answering because they see that, oh, these guys actually know what they're talking about, and they will start answering into it because it's their problem as well too. And that will create a great ripple, and that will make the whole calls in a positive direction. And the third thing is about whenever your team members making calls, tell them to record the session. Like an example, if you make in a call center like in HSBC or any bank in Vietnam, they're all recording the session. Why? Because they want. There's a QC team who's going to listen to those one and give feedbacks to. So if your team members making calls, tell them to record it. And right now there is an app. There's a lot of app is there. Even if you're using Android, most of the Android phone you have an auto built-in recorder too. Tell them to record it and then send it to you, and you listen and you give feedback. And that is an amazing way as well. And the last one already Rajesh already mentioned that be next to the person if it's possible, and listen. If it's not possible, tell them to record it and send it to you, and then you can listen to that calls and can give feedbacks, and that can be a great way to helping your teams forward as well.